A very good afternoon to you and welcome to NTVAtOne live from the Nation's Center. My name is Edmond Nyabola and these are the stories making headlines at this hour. Now, a day after President Uhuru Kenyatta extended the registration deadline by a week, that's for Huduma number, the queues of people waiting to be registered have drastically shrunk. We talked to NTV's Helen Aura, who is out there monitoring that registration exercise. Helen, what is the situation like?
Well, Edmond, as you can see, the contrast here at GPO is very huge as compared to yesterday, when Kenyans thronged the place to register last minute in Kenyan fashion. And after yesterday's President Uhuru Kenyatta's extension of the deadline to the 25th, that's next week Saturday at 6 p.m., today the officials have just informed us that they are even wondering where Kenyans are, because as per yesterday, they closed the station at around 7 p.m. because many Kenyans were still here. They registered Kenyans in thousands of numbers. And I'm joined by the supervisor for GPO, Maxim Itur, who will just inform us how even the contrast has been on the ground and how the registration process has been ongoing. Welcome, sir. Maybe you can just inform us the contrast that was here yesterday, not only even yesterday, the previous days, as per how it is today.
Thank you very much, madam. The contrast is so wide, it's big. Today we've no crowds. The only small crowd we had in the morning, we've cleared, we are through with them. And the few that are inside here, we'll be through with them within the next 30 minutes.
So today, how many people have you registered, or how many people have trickled into the center today?
So far, since morning, we've done about 500 only. And
yesterday, what were the numbers exactly we were looking at yesterday?
Yesterday, there were more. About 2,000.
And as per today, how we're seeing the groups, they've been grouped into male, female, and those with disabilities. Is that how it's been over the previous years or over the month?
Oh yes, it has been like so.
And yesterday, majority of Kenyans were complaining that there were no enough officials. They were stating that there should be officials added here, and even that some of their biometric machines were not functioning. What can you say about that?
Yesterday we had enough personnel and gadgets, and the gadgets were functional. And the only thing is customers came in big numbers. Imagine maybe like 1,000 coming at a go and wanting to be served immediately. That was a challenge. And it's a process.
So we're seeing today it's quite empty. When is the speculation that the numbers will start trickling in greater numbers again? When would Kenyans trickle in greater numbers?
I know I have a perception that this is caused by the extension of the period to 25th of this month. We expect maybe according to our Kenyan culture, maybe the next, maybe from Wednesday again, the numbers might go up. And we shall start having larger crowds. And my urge to my dear Kenyans, please, we should abandon such a culture and continue being served as we are now here. We are ready for you and we are here for you.
Well, there you have it, Edmond. Back to you, studio.
Thank you so much, Helen Aura. If you haven't registered, please make sure you do so within the next week, as the deadline has now been extended. Now, Matungu Member of Parliament Justus Murunga has also been arrested this morning. He is the latest arrest, in addition to former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Echesa, Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, and Mayoni Member of County Assembly Libinas Oduri. They are all being questioned over a criminal gang that has been terrorizing Matungu residents in Kakamega County. Joining us now is Zacchaeus Mwasame, live from Kakamega Police Station. Mwasame, what's happening there? Zacchaeus, if you can hear me, what's happening at the Kakamega Police Station following the arrest that we have seen this morning of Matungu Member of Parliament Justus Murunga?
Well, thank you, Edmond. As you rightly mentioned, the four leaders were arrested yesterday, and this morning Matungu Member of Parliament Justus Murunga was also arrested here at the Kakamega Police Station. This is a matter that has been coming up in the recent days. 2 months ago, a number of around 25 people were brutally killed in the attacks that are maybe suspected to be carried out by a gang of robbers operating within Matungo constituency. That forced the Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i to tour the area and announcing stern action against the perpetrators, and then that led to the arrest of these leaders. Yesterday at around 6:30 p.m., former sports CS Rashid Chesa presented himself here at the Kakamega police station, where he was detained before he was transferred to an unknown police station where he is currently being held. This morning, Justice Murunga, the area MP for Matungu, was also arrested. And as we are speaking, the County Commissioner for Kakamega, that is Rashid Yakubu, has promised us that this evening again there will be a number of maybe high-profile people who will also be arrested this evening. That is not only the only thing that's happening here. Remember, as we are speaking now, there's a burial ceremony for those who are brutally murdered. There was a family that lost a 3-year-old daughter and a mother, a pregnant mother for that matter. And now, as we are speaking, they are now being buried in Sayangwe village in Matungo constituency. We will also be bringing that to you later in our subsequent bulletins. But now, what is expected now here is that we are waiting for the direction from the security apparatus led by the regional county commissioner, the county commissioner for Kakamega, who are saying that they are up to the task to make sure that they bring everybody up to the task. Anybody who has participated in any way in regarding to the attacks in Matungu constituency to be brought to book and to face full force of law. This is a matter, Edmond, that has actually brought some sort of panic in Matungo constituency. You remember that at least 3 days, after a period of 3 days, we have been receiving information of people being killed. The people who are behind this are still not yet known, but the police are saying they are moving with speed to make sure that they go so that they don't leave any stone unturned in regarding this matter. Edmond.
Thank you so much, Zacchaeus Mwasame, live from Kakamega County, where those arrests have been happening following the deaths and murders that we have seen in Matungu constituency. Now, 6 more members of the family in Londiani, suspected to be suffering from a hereditary disease, underwent preliminary medical examination at their home in Kiplokchi village in Londiani sub-county, that's in Kericho County.
A team of medics from Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital Eldoret, led by Cuban Dr. Yamile Castillo, conducted a number of tests and environmental survey on the family members in a quest to unravel the nature of illness that has since claimed more than 10 families in Kipkelion. Richard Langat, the eldest in the family, said the strange disease had claimed half of his family since it first struck in 1978. According to Langat, the initial symptoms of the disease were incoherent speech and difficulty in walking.
And we start here today before you know the news about the family with different conditions, and we investigate about that.
Main aim is only one, was to follow up on the investigation that touches on the patients that have come to our hospital. 5 patients of the same family, and also the members of the family who are here. Our doctors, a team represented by the one who has come here, Dr. Yamile, will form a big report that will give a direction on how the problem can be handled.
Kuna magonjwa ambayo yamewasumbua sana na labda hawajui ni nini. Wasikimbilie tu kusema kwamba ni mambo ya laana au mambo yanahusiana na labda mambo ya zamani ilifanyika, kwa sababu tumeona examination results ambayo inatokea, inaonekana kwamba kuna magonjwa. Sio lazima ikuwe tu fulani, labda alikuwa amekosa katika generation fulani.
6 members of the family are currently admitted at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret. The family's hopes of survival are pegged on diagnosis by MTRH, the country's second largest referral hospital. The family had previously said clan members had performed traditional Kipsigis rites several times to try and appease the gods and rid the family of deaths resulting from the disease, but the situation did not improve.
Now, leaders in Tharaka Nithi County have assured the family of Kamaindi Chief Japhet Mayau Mukengu, who was hacked to death and his body burnt in Chuka, of justice. The leaders described him as a committed and hardworking civil servant.
Speaking during the chief's burial in Kigatuni village in Igamagombe sub-county on Friday, the leaders led by Governor Muthoki Njuki said that they have deployed detectives who are actively working to solve the matter. Governor Njuki asked the residents to give information to the GSU officers who have been deployed in the area to hunt down the thieves, promising that no one would be arrested or victimized.
Swahili alisema hasira ni nini? Hasara kubwa sana. Kwa sababu saa hii kulikuwa na hasira, chief wetu wameenda na wale walikuwa nafikiria wako mbele wanaweza fungwa kifungo ya miaka. Unawacha bibi yako hapa na watoto unafungwa bure tu.
According to a police report, the chief had been sent by Igamagombe Deputy County Commissioner Fred Masinjila to settle a dispute between his brother Gikware Mukengu and a villager. The villagers claim that his brother killed the other villager, and as the chief went to resolve the dispute, he met irate residents who killed him. On Thursday, 9 suspects linked to the murder of the chief were ordered by the Chuka court to undergo mental assessment before the case proceeds to the High Court. Helen Wanjohi, NTV.
Health workers from different medical cadres have threatened to issue a strike notice in all hospitals in Kirinyaga County until sanitation issues are taken care of. Speaking after a visit to the Kerugoya Hospital, the Health Workers Union officials said the deplorable conditions are a health risk to the personnel. Meanwhile, the Senate Health Committee has raised concerns over the shortage of health officials at the facility, affecting service delivery.
Health Workers Union spoke of the unity of medical personnel in demanding a safe and conducive environment in which to work. Doctors, nurses, clinical and laboratory officers unions have threatened to down their tools in all public hospitals in Kirinyaga County if the environment at the hospitals is not kept safe and hygienic for them.
We want to say that from Monday, we are going to issue a strike notice for promotions, for CBA implementation, and for working environment to be made good for all the health workers. I think with those The
union officials were speaking after visiting Kerugoya Hospital. Earlier this week, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Board had asked the hospital to stop inpatient services at the facility until a second inspection is done and a report is tabled.
What the national government is doing, because they did also recommend that this facility should be shut down. What are we still doing? Today we will tell our members where they need to be if this facility is supposed to be shut down.
The Senate Health Committee paid a visit to the facility on Friday and expressed their dissatisfaction with the situation at the facility.
The equipment that is here, there's a complaint on them being closed and people having difficulty in sourcing the consumables. So all those things.
The team also expressed its concerns over the understaffed facilities owing to the shortage of doctors and nurses, making service delivery difficult. Kerugoya County Hospital was exposed last week for its filthy state and crumbling structural and procedural systems. As a result, 6 staff members are set to face disciplinary measures for the mess at the hospital.
To a bit of politics now, and Deputy President William Ruto has for the first time publicly declared his 2022 presidential ambitions during a rally in Kakamega County. The DP also asserted that the Jubilee Party will remain intact and clinch the 2022 presidency, and urged his supporters to shun those on a mission to destroy the ruling party.
The Deputy President was in Malinia, Kakamega County, during a tour of Western Kenya when he told residents to join him form the next government.
Safari hii mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa Nyabola na watu ya Kakamega. Tutembee pamoja jameni, tuunde serikali ya 2022.
This was the first time the DP publicly declared interest in the 2022 presidential succession. His allies are the ones who have previously been pushing the DP's agenda.
Hii safari ambayo uko ya kutafuta urais, ninakuombea upate na ndani yako Waluya wawe ndani.
Deputy President wetu ndiye ataridhi rais wetu muda wa rais wetu ukiisha.
Huyu ndiye kijana ambaye kila mahali atakapoenda atakuwa anaulizwa masuala ya miradi na kimaendeleo, then hakuna kwingine kwa kushika isipokuwa hapa.
The over 30 legislators, mainly drawn from the region, vowed to rally the entire bloc behind the DP.
Waluya mwaka wa 2017 tumepatia Raila kura nyingi sana, lakini wakati ameenda handshake, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta akampatia nafasi kiasi aweze kuwapatia kazi watu wake. Hakuna Mluya hata mmoja Raila amepatia kazi.
The deputy president who launched the upgrading to bitumen standard and maintenance of the 60 kilometers.
This is NTV.
Two different worlds will collide between life and death. Our decisions determine if true love will remain a new masterpiece that will make you believe that there are no accidents.
Daily Nation makes it easier. Book your classifieds online with a click of a button. Visit classifieds.nation.co.ke. Enter your mobile number and click on I'm not a robot. Enter the products and services you want to advertise. Make payment by following the simple steps on the screen. Confirm your payment details and you're done. Daily Nation, making it easier.
Is it possible to be cured of arthritis?
It depends on what is the cause of the arthritis.
I was so scared. I never thought kids can get arthritis. It really affected her. Most of the time it was hard to walk.
It got to a point, the pain was so much, my parents had to drag me around the house on a mattress. I could not move.
So I have had families when you give the diagnosis and they completely disappear from clinic.
Because I was now deemed as lazy and slow.
Nilijivunia kwamba kumbe naweza fanya, kumbe naweza kuwa the winner.
For 18 years we've been part of your story. Through good times and hard times. Never giving up and never giving in. Tuko nawe kila wakati.
Hakuna mwanaume anaitwa Brian ako na nyumba already. Prove me wrong, Brayo.
Siku utaona mwanaume ameshika msichana wake wanaingia 5-star hotel. Jua hiyo siku mwanaume aliulizwa Karo ni nani?
Just give me some time so that I can think about it. Train ilikuwa mpaka na hiyo time.
Give your family the best classy TV experience. Simply.
Welcome back to NTVAtOne. We do apologize for that slight technical hitch. We have since corrected that. But going on and moving on with our news stories at this hour, Budalangi Member of Parliament Raphael Wanjala has challenged those against house allowances for members of Parliament to go to court. Speaking during a tree planting exercise in Budalangi constituency, Wanjala defended the members of Parliament's action, arguing that it is the responsibility of the employer to provide the facility and saying that MPs should be treated just like any other state officers. Wanjala added that legislators have a right to be given allowances as the rest of Kenyans.
Na sheria ya Kenya ilitengenezwa ambaye mtu hajapinga hajaenda kotini, inasema every state officer lazima kuwe na house allowance. So sisi tulipewa house allowance, na house allowance ni yetu na ni haki yetu. Ule anaona ni ngumu aende kotini atueleze ni kwa nini mbunge pekee ndiye anakuwa discriminated, na constitution yetu inasema there shall be no discrimination.
And back to that story on Deputy President William Ruto, who has for the first time publicly declared his 2022 presidential ambitions during a rally in Kakamega County. The DP also asserted that the Jubilee Party will remain intact and clinch the 2022 presidency and urged his supporters to shun those on a mission to destroy the ruling party.
The Deputy President was in Malinia, Kakamega County, during a tour of Western Kenya when he told residents to join him form the next government.
Safari hii mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa Nyabola na watu ya Kakamega, tutembee pamoja jameni, tuunde serikali ya 2022.
This was the first time the DP publicly declared interest in the 2022 presidential succession. His allies are the ones who have previously been pushing the DP's agenda.
Hii safari ambayo uko ya kutafuta urais, ninakuombea upate na ndani yako Waluya wawe ndani.
Deputy President wetu ndiye atarithi rais wetu muda wa rais wetu ukiisha.
Huyu ndiye kijana ambaye kila mahali atakapoenda atakuwa anaulizwa masuala ya miradi na kimaendeleo, then hakuna kwingine kwa kushika isipokuwa hapa.
The over 30 legislators, many drawn from the region, vowed to rally the entire bloc behind the DP.
Waluya mwaka wa 2017 tumepatia Raila kura nyingi sana. Lakini wakati ameenda handshake, Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta akampatia nafasi kiasi aweze kuwapatia kazi watu wake. Hakuna Mluya hata mmoja Raila amepatia kazi.
The Deputy President who launched the upgrading to bitumen standard and maintenance of the 60 kilometers Kilimani Turbo and Mazuri Moi's Bridge Road at Likuyani in Kakamega County also asked constituents to shun divisive politics.
Ndugu zetu wa Kakamega, safari hiyo ya kuunganisha Kenya, siasa ya Kenya ibadilike, iwache kuwa siasa ya ukabila na chuki na kugawanyika, iwe ni siasa ya umoja na sera na maendeleo.
Seth Olale, NTV.
The judiciary is fast-tracking its reduction of case backlog by clearing court cases expeditiously. Chief Justice David Maraga awarded judges and magistrates of courts said to have exemplary performances in the year under review, that's 2017-2018. While most of the cases are civil, it is still seen as a move in the right direction by the judiciary.
Chief Justice David Maraga acknowledged judges and magistrates who have worked around the clock in ensuring justice is served to the people in the period 2017-2018. Interesting to note is that most of these courts are from the county level, with judges and magistrates posting performances of up to 300% clearance of court cases, such as Chuka Environment and Land Court, with a caseload category of 200 cases and below. The court achieved a case clearance rate of 308%. It was presided by Justice Peter Njoroge. Similarly, Kapenguria High Court had a civil case clearance rate of 205% with a caseload of 200 cases and below, presided by Justice Stephen Githinji, who was succeeded by Lady Justice Ruth Sitati. At the Hola Magistrates Court with a caseload category of 500 cases and below, the court delivered 96% of the judgments and rulings within 60 days of conclusion of the hearing. It was led by Alois Ndege. While at the Nairobi Court of Appeal Civil Division, the case clearance rate was 80%. The presiding judge of the bench in the period under review was Justice Philip Waki. The Machakos High Court had a caseload category of above 500 cases. 76% of all the judgments and rulings were delivered within 60 days. The court was led by Justice Pauline Nyamola, succeeded by Justice George Odunga. And in Western, the Kakamega Environment and Land Court had a caseload category of above 200 cases. The court reduced case backlog by 74%. It was presided by Lady Justice Nelly Matheka. At the Milimani Family Division in Nairobi, the case backlog reduction was by 73% from 16,995 cases to 5,502. The court was under Justice Agri Muchelule, while at the Wundanyi Magistrates Court with a caseload category of between 501 and 1,000 cases, the court had a productivity of 866 cases. It was led by Nicholas Njagi and succeeded by David Ndungi. In Makueni, the High Court had a caseload category of between 201 to 500 cases. 69% of all the civil cases were heard and determined within 360 days. The court was led by Justice Charles Kariuki, succeeded by Lady Justice Hedwig Ongudi. And finally, at the Mombasa Employment and Labour Relations Court, the caseload of above 500 cases was reduced by 18% under Justice James Rika, Onesmus Macau and Lady Justice Lynette Ndolo. Mel Miendo, NTV.
Now, two minors have been the subjects of vicious battles in and out of the court in the scramble for custody. But now the state has taken them back from the guardians and adoptive parents and reintegrated them. So how did the minors end up in alternative family care, and why has the state taken them back? NTV embarks on a journey to unravel the mystery behind this saga. Here now is a sneak preview of this Sunday's NTV Investigates Court to Court. A rescue operation by the DCI Child Protection Unit.
You've taken him? Are you kidding me? They've just taken... You have literally killed
This is a sick baby. You know, we are the only parents he's ever known.
Walikuwa pale ndani kwa karatasi ya polythene paper.
The guardianship process to start without involving Moga. That's one of the irregularities.
We have been denied access into New Life Home Trust.
There were two men holding guns. So you can imagine my shock.
You knew that the mother wanted her child back. Now, residents of Kamuri Trading Center in Kuresoi have asked the government to fix a faulty transformer installed under the last mile power connection drive. The residents complained about the investment they made to power their homes, which has not borne fruit, and they say they are still living in darkness.
The power lines and huge power infrastructure tell of a society that is living a progressive, convenient, modern life. However, that is not the case, because according to them, the cables are all cosmetic.
Tuko na miaka 4 tangu hii transformer tuwekewa hapa, tukaambiwa tuweke baka wiring. Hakuna usaidizi huwa inatusaidia hapa.
Hakuna kazi inafanyaga. Sasa mastima ni kwa dozi huko. Hapa hakuna maendeleo hapa.
Their homes reflect the same anticipated development. The wait for them has been too long and they are losing patience.
Hii wiring walituambia tuweke hapa, watuambie wakati watakuja kutuwekea stima. La sivyo hii transformer tutaondoa hapa. Cause baka hizo nyaya zenye wameweka hapa za stima haina usaidizi.
Sasa hii hata watoto mpaka homework watoto wafanye homework.
tena hata giza imeingia zaidi hapa katika hii center yetu. Tunaomba waziri angalau atuwekee stima. Ikifika hata saa 12 hapa tunapika mapema, mahoteli kitambo saa 12:30 ifike. Ikifika inafungwa. Saa moja ikifika kama jana, unaweza kuta mkora wamekufuata kwa njia. Ukilimua hakuna mwenye anakuulizia.
They complained that kerosene has become expensive to buy in order to cater for their lighting and other household energy needs. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Now, the government has rolled out its digital literacy project in Marsabit County. The project, which provides students with learning digital devices, is one of the major flagship programs highlighted in the Jubilee Manifesto. Marsabit County Commissioner Gilbert Kitio said that while the project will place students on a level playing field with pupils in other parts of the country, it has come with its challenges.
The excitement on their faces is apparent and their zeal to learn evident as students in Marsabit County experience their learning through a digital platform.
So you can see there the 5 organs. The 5 organs.
The project has reached 128 out of the 180 schools in the county, with the remainder due to receive their devices later, according to Commissioner Kitio.
Before the program, we had an enrollment of slightly over 32,000 students. That is 32,150. But this year, as we talk now, we have an enrollment of 51,587.
The commissioner, however, stated that unreliable power was a major challenge as only a few schools are on the national grid. The government and specifically the Ministry of Education have been quiet about the school laptop program, which kicked off with a lot of fanfare and fizzled out gradually.
We are together, isn't it? Yeah.
The Shindana Stars promotion, a grand prize of Kenya shillings 1 million to be won.
In their midweek matches, which will add a spice to an already tense game between two bitter rivals. A win for Gor Mahia will bring them to within 1 point of retaining their title for a third straight season, while victory for Leopards would maintain their push for a top 10 finish in the table. In Saturday's matches, bottom of the table Mount Kenya United host Sony Sugar in Machakos, Kariobangi Sharks clash with KCB at Kasarani, Nzoia Sugar plays Sofapaka at the Sudi Stadium, and Posta Rangers meet Kakamega Homeboys in the late kickoff in Machakos. And following 18 weeks of action in Nairobi, Nakuru and Kakamega, the curtains fall on the Kenya Cup season on Saturday with the final between host Kabras Sugar and KCB RFC. This will be the third year running that the two teams will be facing off, this time at a different venue, the Kakamega Showgrounds. Kabras, who are unbeaten this season, will host the final by virtue of finishing top of the standings in the regular season. KCB has won the 2 times the teams have met. Meanwhile, promoted Kisumu RFC and Western Bulls will clash in the KRU Championship final, which will be curtain raiser of the Kenya Cup final. In Nairobi, at the Den, Ruaraka will host the final of the Eric Shally Shield between KCB 2 and Homeboys 2. To something starting in a few minutes, former world javelin champion Julius Yego will lead Kenyan athletes to second leg of the IAAF Diamond League in Shanghai, China on Saturday, that is this afternoon. The Olympic silver medalist, who has been out injured, is aiming at improving on his throws, his personal best standing at 92.72 meters. The men's 5,000 meters race will witness a strong representation from Kenya, with world under 25,000 meters silver medalist Stanley Waithaka lining up alongside his compatriots Nicholas Kimeli, Cornelius Kiplangat and Richard Yator to fight for honors. Kenyan athletes will also feature in the women's 1,500 meters races, with Winnie Chebet seeking to win the title, joined by her compatriots Nelly Jepkosgei and Josephine Chelangat. Women's 3,000 meters steeplechase race will feature world from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. by Ida and Joshua Makori. Back to you, Edmond.
Thank you so much, Brian, as well, for the sports. Now, one more thing. Kenyan politicians are likely to enter the Guinness Book of Records. Reason? They will have conducted the longest warm-up ahead of any political campaigns. The warm-up is intensifying, yet it's still 3 years before another contest. They enjoy disagreeing, and as Emmanuel Juma reports on Bullseye, even seeing or witnessing the exact same thing never changes their perspective.
Kipchumba Murkomen looked overly curious on this day. Was it the signature that captured his imagination or what?
Sadly, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the President signed a bill into law that is purporting to amend, Mr. Speaker, various institutions of health in the country. I want to inform the nation that that is not law for purpose of our Constitution, that, Mr. Speaker, that law cannot be enforced anywhere in this republic.
Yet, he was there all along, but said nothing.
I don't know whether the picture taken when the President was signing this bill into law is correct, but I saw Senator Murkomen there. Maybe that's an old picture. But he was there staring. He should have protested.
Mr. Speaker, if you look at that picture critically, I was very sad, Mr. Speaker.
He was there too. Duale, spill the beans.
Where was Kipchumba Murkomen the last 6 months?
I knew nothing about existence of an health bill being presented to the President until a few minutes just before the President signed it.
You cannot lead a rebellion in the Senate against the government. I think that was a bit reckless.
These personal attacks that are, as I said, they are too childish for us who are in leadership to be able to engage in.
Why go to State House, take a photo with the President when he's signing the bill, and then come around back and then, start crying like a small kid?
When you are not very sure about yourself, you have certain complexities. You think that when other people shine, it will be to your disadvantage.
The Swahili saying, palipo na wazee hapaharibiki neno, does not apply for these two. The majority leaders are at war, and a new agreement may be required.
Manake pale ambao mlikuwa mnaandikana, sisi hatukukuweko huko. Mlikuweko? Mlikuweko?
If you are used to conning people in parties and deceit in your agreements with fellow leaders, don't export those bad manners into our political party.
Sisi hatukukuweko huko. Nataka kuunganisha Kenya iwe kama kitu kimoja. Hiyo ndio tuliahidiana mimi na Uhuru.
Wale viongozi wengine wawachane na porojo mingi, wawachane na story mingi. Na mimi nataka niwaulize wale wengine ambao wanatupigia makelele mambo ya Jubilee, kama wewe uko na chama yako. My friends, tuheshimu kama chama ya Jubilee.
These two may have had the same political teacher at some point, even shared some moments. But remember, it's now 2019.
Very fundamental and big changes coming to Kenya.
Kuna wengine wanatuambia story ati Kenya itabadilika. Ni mabadiliko ya mamlaka, ya vyeo, ya wanasiasa.
You cannot resist change. If you try to resist change, change will change you.
Mimi nataka niwaambie mambo ya wanasiasa na vyeo na mamlaka, hiyo tulimaliza wakati wa uchaguzi. Ile mabadiliko wananchi hawa wanangojea ni ya barabara, ya maji.
Wengine wanasema ya kwamba hapana, Wakenya hawataki mabadiliko, Wakenya wanataka maji, Wakenya wanataka stima. Ndio, tunataka maji. Lakini Kenya isipobadilika, hiyo pesa ya maji ambayo vile tuliona juzi imewekwa katika ile damu ya Aror na Kimwarer iliibiwa yote.
And it's still 3 years before the bell can be rung. What would Gideon Moi call this moment?
Hii ndio ile pale tunasema the starting point of knowing each other.
And he's just warming up.
Wakati itafika na jameni itafika, kila mtu atatoa koti yake, twende kiwanjani.
For now though, they can contend with simple things like undressing each other in public.
Hiyo mabadiliko yenu mnaongelea ati mabadiliko ya maisha ya viongozi na vyeo na viti na hiyo mambo ingine, tunataka tuwaambie Kenya hii sio ya wanasiasa peke yake.
Wewe unahangaika kusema ati watu ni vitu wanataka. Wewe ndio unataka kiti. Lakini hutapata kiti peke yako.
And here is another group that needs to be told kitaeleweka on matters gluttony. Just attempt asking them about it. And they continue laughing all the way to the bank at your expense.
There is a mission to demean members of parliament and reduce them to beggars.
I worked. I fought it out to be a member of parliament. I campaigned. I used my resources. I want to be paid well.
Emmanuel Juma, Bullseye, NTV.
And on that bullseye note, we end NTV at 1 this Saturday. We will come back to you again at 7 p.m. with NTV Jioni and at 9 p.m. with NTV Weekend Edition with myself. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.